Is December 12th. We're a couple weeks away from Santa coming down the chimney. And man, there's a lot going on. I'm about to get into a little bit of it today. Going to do a little bit of an abridged version of the program today because I got to pack my bags. I'm going on a little family trip this weekend. I'm from New England, and thing my family and I have been going to a place called the Red Lion Inn in the Berkshires, Massachusetts. So, little town called Lee, Massachusetts. We're going to be going down there, and it's basically like being in a Norman Rockwell painting when you're down there. Classic New England Americana. Really decorate the place up for the holidays real nice. And it's just a great little family getaway. Going with my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother-in-law. My girlfriend is coming along on the trip. Shout out to Sarah, so that's going to be fun. So I'm trying to just mentally decompress for a couple days, but it's difficult because I got so much going on. But there are some good positive updates this week. If you've been following along, the last couple weeks, I've been drawing my storyboards for an upcoming project. And it's kind of been stressing me out because I know that I only have so much time before I get going. So getting those storyboards done in the books is really important because you can't even start really thinking about how you're going to make your movie until your board's down. So I started 17 days ago, and I am proud to report that I am officially through the end. We finished sketching all of our storyboards. They're all in this nice little handy book here. It's on for like 13 bucks. If you're a filmmaker, I highly recommend it. Now, I still gotta ink them. A lot of people don't realize this, but I end up drawing every single picture twice, actually, because I sketch it with a pencil, and then I go in with one of these guys here. This is called a Micron #2. There's a few different sizes depending upon the tip. You want the really fine tip for some of your, when you're drawing eyeballs and mouths and things like that, you want the real fine tip. And then when you're coloring things in, you widen it out a little bit. So I sketched everything and I inked everything about halfway through. Now I gotta ink the second half, but that's a lot less stressful because the ideas, the hard part, the thoughts are already on the page. I've said it before, it's definitely it's the hardest part of the job. Nobody believes that, but like just sitting here by myself, reading the script and thinking of like what the shots are gonna look like, what coverage I'll need to make the edit actually make sense later on. It's the hardest part. It's like the craziest form of mental math. So I'm glad that it's over. Now that doesn't mean that, this isn't an exact science. I'm not gonna go just shoot every single frame exactly how it is, but it'll be pretty close. On the day there might be something different. You might get an idea. My cinematographer might say, hey, let's try this. So we're always gonna be ready to be flexible, but we got the game plan in place now. So I'm pretty excited about that. What's up, Kim? Happy holidays to you. Thanks for being with us today. Yeah, I love it. So it's not that hard, but it's definitely intense, and it's a big sigh of relief that that's over. What else is going on? Well, this kind of came out of nowhere. Have you ever been to Montana? Has anyone ever been to the great state of Montana? I have not, but next week I will be taking my first visit to Montana. I'll be flying to Billings on the 17th, and I'll be there until the 20th. And I am adapting a script that Theo Rossi and I co-wrote together way back when. Do y'all remember the writer's strike and the SAG strike? Remember when that all happened like at the same time? There was a bunch of striking. It was the summer of strikes. This was not last summer, but the summer before, I want to say. Whatever it was, they all blend together. During the strike, Theo and I wrote this script, and it was written to be in a sort of a tropical beach-like resort location. And it's an abduction story, a little bit of an action thriller, maybe could be even considered, a form of a horror movie, thriller. And, well, sure enough, we have an opportunity to make this movie in Montana now, which is a great thing, and I'm really excited about it. But what that means is now we'll have to take a storyline that was written for a tropical beachside resort and convert that to a ranch in a Montana town, which is obviously very different. But the story itself is quite the same. You know, the premise is the same. It's really just about adapting the story to the location. So instead of riding jet skis and going in the ocean swimming and hanging by the pool, well, they're probably going to be maybe checking out a beautiful hiking trail in the mountains, or maybe, you know, taking in some of the rustic rural sites. It's going to be a little different, but the same. So part of us going to Montana is becoming one with this ranch and figuring out, okay, what is it about Montana that, drives people there and gets them excited? What do the people in Montana do? What do they speak like? What kind of places do they like to hang out in? Where do they eat? What kind of food do they eat? All that stuff we're going to learn. You can read things online, and you can, you know, watch a video on YouTube, but until you're actually there, you don't really know what it's like. So I'm excited to get down there and go on a little adventure, man. I mean, talk about a little crazy pre-holiday adventure right before Christmas. Gonna be wild. Gonna be hopefully it's not like one of those scenes in Home Alone where we're running through the airport during the holidays. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I've never been to Montana, so I hear it's cold there this time of year. I'm gonna bundle up, that's for sure. So that's been going on, preparing for that. I'm hoping to do, my whole career I've been really focused on trying to make back-to-back films. Really like make one movie and then go right into another. I haven't really been able to do that. Often it's like you make one movie and then you're doing post on that one, and you might not direct your next movie for another year, at least 6 months. This year might be different. I feel like this year I might get a couple of little back-to-back opportunities. So I'm hopeful for that. That's my goal for 2026. I'm gonna shoot two movies in 2026. That's the goal. You heard it today on December the 12th on the third episode of Talk to Tommy. 2026 is gonna two directing missions is my goal. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on. In local movie news here in Rhode Island, and it's not just local because this is a pretty big movie. I went to the Rhode Island premiere for a movie called Ella McKay, which is coming out, I think, today, Friday. You can check out Ella McKay. Really great cast. I really enjoyed the movie. Sharp, funny, witty banter. And it was directed by James L. Brooks, who, if you don't know who James L. Brooks is, the guy is a freaking legend in the business. Created the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Taxi, uh, directed one of my all-time favorite movies, As Good as It Gets. And let's not forget, probably, I mean, you could argue because there's so many contributions, but probably his biggest contribution and most famous contribution is he pretty much was the guy behind The Simpsons. Obviously, Matt Groening, I don't know if I'm saying that right, hope I am, created The Simpsons, but James L. Brooks was instrumental in, getting it out there, getting it on Fox. I remember it was really nostalgic. We were watching the movie, and I'm going to hum it, and it's going to be embarrassing, but I'll just do it. If you watch The Simpsons, there was always this really cool little animated logo at the end of every episode for Grace Films, and it would have a little jingle. It would go doo 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 doo, and a woman would go shh, a little animated woman in the theater, and it would be projected on a screen. And it's just embedded in my head, and I hadn't heard that in a long time because I haven't watched The Simpsons since I was a kid. No heat with The Simpsons. It was a big part of my life when I was a kid, and then I kind of just got away from it. So I hadn't heard that jingle in that promo to Grace Films in forever. And I'm watching Ella McKay at the premiere the other night, and boom, there it is. It comes on, that music comes on, and it was so nostalgic for me to hear that. And I was like, oh man, it kind of just made me feel like, oh, I'm in for a good show. The guy behind The Simpsons is behind this movie, and I recommend checking it out. shot right here in Rhode Island. They shot, I want to say, 30 something days in the state office, and the governor of Rhode Island actually like removed himself from his personal office and conducted business elsewhere within the building so that the movie crew could use his office to shoot, which is pretty cool. So locations were great. If you're from Rhode Island, there's going to be a few spots that you might recognize. Um, and for me, I was excited because a couple actors that, I don't want to give anything away, but especially a young actor, I'll give you a little hint. There's a young actor who has a really great role in not only Roaring Game, and he also has a very small role in Bad News on the Doorstep. He's also in this movie, and I didn't know that, so I was excited within the first couple minutes. I'm like, Kellen? It's crazy. So check the movie out. Ella McKay, shot here in Rhode Island. Um, yeah, storyboarding, good times. So I'm preparing for this trip. I'm excited to go away. I'm going to try and shut the brain down, which is not the easiest thing in the world for me to do. Uh, but I'm gonna make an attempt to just kind of. The big debate is if I'm gonna bring my laptop or not. Because if I bring my laptop, I'm inevitably going to be, force myself into doing some work. So is that Kellen right there? What's up, Kellen? Kellen Cross. I see your cat. Uh, you got your little picture is a cat. I'm a big cat guy myself. Larry's running around here somewhere. Larry's my cat, not my roommate, although he is technically my roommate because he lives with me, but he doesn't pay any rent. So, but hey, you know what? You get to pet him. He makes you feel good about yourself. I guess he kicks in some way. Um, but yeah, things are going great. Awesome job in the movie. It was just really cool to see you out there in such a big film. Um, so yeah, I got to decide. Do I bring the laptop? Do I not bring the laptop? I'm going to tell you why I think I'm going to bring the laptop. I worked on a project called Fantasy Fight Club about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. It was like in November. And my editor, Scott, has been working on a new cut of that. And he texted me today and he said that he's going to have something for me to see later on. So, look, I don't know that I'm going to like take notes on it and really dive too deep into it, but editor's going to send me a cut. I should bring my laptop and at least scrub through the thing and watch it. Why push it to Monday if you don't have to? Also, if you've been following along on Bad News on the Doorstep, I've been trying to work with a group called the Duprees, a really kind of an iconic doo-wop group from the early 60s based out of New Jersey. And, they had a lot of success in the 60s and 70s, and they're continuing to do their thing to this day. I had a great call with their music director today about potentially licensing some music for my next movie. The last movie, Bad News on the Doorstep, again, that movie's set in the late 50s, so having that kind of doo-wop sound is really important. So things are moving along in that direction as well. So everything's kind of like sometimes, when things are going really great, I gotta like look over my head because I think like a piano is gonna fall on top of me or something. And maybe that's a negative way to think, but things are going surprisingly well. So we're just gonna keep it kind of going, and I have a feeling that like I'm looking at my calendar now. It's the 12th of December, and I have a feeling that like we're gonna blink and Santa's gonna be here, and then there's those like weird few days. The weird few days after Christmas. Like there's something about like, you know, from the 26th to New Year's Eve, there's always this like, you don't know what day it is. You don't know if you're supposed to be at work or like, am I on vacation? Am I relaxing? People are still texting you Merry Christmas, even though it's over. You're getting sometimes you got to do the post Christmas family hangs. The people that, like, well, we didn't get to hang out on Christmas, so we're going to hang out on the 26th or the 27th or whatever that is. You got, we'll call that like the Christmas cleanup hangouts. I have a Christmas cleanup hangout with my cousin every year. Shout out to my cousin Rob if you're watching. We like to hang out every year, those couple days after Christmas, but it's a really weird to me. Maybe I'm also just a little crazy, but something about those last few days of the year, they're almost like this, like time stands still for a few days. For me, I'm just like, all right, let's get it over with. Get me to New Year's and get me out of here. Well, not out of here, but to the next year. What's everyone's New Year's plans? What are you guys doing? I'm not a big New Year's Eve guy. I used to be, as a kid, you always try to. I feel like New Year's Eve is like one of those things where you always try to have such a great time on New Year's Eve that it's like built up to the point where almost anything's going to be a disappointment. So in the last couple of years, I've tried to become more of a homebody New Year's Eve guy. Unless I'm not a complete, uh, reclusive freak. I'll have my friends over. I just, I don't really want to go out. Nothing good happens out there. So I'm going to have a few friends over this year. My girlfriend's working, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer. But I do have to look forward to this year. If you're a Stranger Things fan, I got some friends coming over to do a little. We can do a little Stranger Things watch party on New Year's Eve. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be so nice. We're going to order some food, have a couple drinks in a contained, safe environment, and watch an exciting show that we can all kind of get behind. And then midnight comes, Happy New Year, drop the ball, hugs and handshakes all around. You get your text messages to your friends. I'll text my girlfriend, and then here comes 2026. So that's what I'm fired up for. I'm just ready to kind of get this year over with. Got a lot going on, man. We got some big movies to do in 2026. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, guys. Kim says Stranger Things. I love it. Isn't it great? Listen, the Duffer Brothers, and I don't know if it's them or if it's Netflix, whosever decision it was to have Stranger Things come out right before Thanksgiving, and then hold back a little bit, and then put some more episodes right before Christmas, and then right before New Year's. I mean, brilliant release time, because they know we're all just going to be sitting around with a bunch of leftovers and kind of a groggy state of post-holiday, you know, uh, cloudiness. Okay, what do I do with myself? And boom, there's Stranger Things. It give you a little something to put a little pep in your step. So I'm excited about that. Um, Kim says I've been waiting to watch it so I can really concentrate on it. Listen, it's it's definitely a great journey that it's taken us on. That was conversation Tommy and Eric's. Wow, no kidding. We had a little Stranger Things combo. That goes to show you, that was a while ago. That was years ago. I guess it goes to show you, like, Stranger Things has been like a fiber of our pop culture society for so long. So I'm fired up for that. And I'm about to go pack and get ready for this trip. This weekend, I got my Patriots hat on. Believe it or not, I even got a little Patriots shirt on here. I'm fully repping the brand. Big game against the Bills this weekend. Everybody on ESPN, all the analysts for the most part, think the Bills are going to come into Gillette and whoop them. And I just don't see that happening. To me, I mean, the Bills almost lost to the Bengals last week. If it weren't for back-to-back turnovers by Joe Burrow, like a gift by Joe Burrows, whatever. They were gifted two turnovers and they won that game. They almost got beat by the Bengals. There's no way the Bills are going to come into Gillette and beat the Patriots. So I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for a little football talk. I don't want to bore everybody with football talk, but Philip Rivers, 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played football since the COVID season back in 2020, has dusted off the old throwing arm, and he's going to go most likely start for the Colts this weekend. So that game's at, I think, 4:25, which I'm excited about because I should be getting home from my trip right around then. So probably gonna have to listen to the Patriots game on the radio in the car, but definitely gonna be excited to watch Joe Burrow. Definitely gonna be excited to watch Philip Rivers go out there. And hey, old man River, Philip Rivers. How about that? I'm surprised nobody's made that old man River connection yet. They will. Don't worry. All right. Well, in Drake may we trust. Go Pats. Everybody have an awesome weekend. And also, please, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel here. I'll be posting a lot of shorts this weekend from my trip, so you can kind of stay posted on what I got going on in the Berkshires. It'll be fun little holiday time. Be like in a Norman Rockwell painting, who is one of my favorite artists. If you're not familiar with Norman Rockwell, you got to get on that. Check out some of his work. It's the best. You've seen his stuff without even realizing it. All right, everybody. Y'all have a nice Friday, and I will see you next week on episode 4 of Talk to Tommy. Bye-bye.